pretty obvious that Eddie Vedder of Pearl Jam loves The Who.
These three girls, I just can't tell you. I just love them more than anything. And that's a lot because it says a lot because I really love The Who.
In an article with Rolling Stone, Eddie shared, "I was around 9 when the babysitter snuck Who's Next onto the turntable. The parents were gone. The windows shook. The shelves were rattling. Rock and roll. That began an exploration into music that had soul, rebellion, aggression, affection, destruction. Imagine, as a kid, stumbling upon the locomotive that is live at Leeds. Hi, I'm Eddie Vedder. I'm 10 years old and I'm getting my fucking mind blown." But Ed's appreciation of Pete Townshend's band goes way deeper than that.
Music I felt saved my life. Pete Townsend, whoever you are, Pete, saved my life.
Yeah, probably about 13, 14. It, for some reason, I just didn't feel like there's anybody I could relate to on the whole planet. Nobody at school and certainly no one in the household.
Yeah.
Eddie didn't have a normal childhood. Take just one look at the lyrics of Pearl Jam's biggest song, Alive, and it's clear that he never really knew his biological father.
Son, she said, have I got a little story for you? What you thought was your daddy was nothing but while you were sitting home alone at age 13, your real daddy was dying.
And then all of a sudden it was like some guy from London named Pete, and he was like, he knew everything. Really, as a whole, Quadrophenia was the one that, if it weren't for that, it was like, thank God the record store prescribed that drug because that's what got me through that. And even though Quadrophenia didn't really offer any answers, in the end, it was really just knowing that you weren't the only one going through it.
It's crazy because I always go back to Who by Numbers, which was the Who record, and there was some very autobiographical songs by Pete Townsend. However much I booze, how many friends have I really got, these kind of... And I was 15 and I totally related to all that stuff.
Right.
And they're really the songs directly transmitted from a, guy in his mid-30s. And when I got to my mid-30s, I understood them even more. But they were still anthems to me as a kid.
Around those years, another event happened that shaped Eddie Vedder into the person he would later become.
Yeah, my birthday's December 23rd, so I begged to have the two gifts put together to afford something as extravagant as an electric guitar, which I think was $115.
That was a big gift.
I walked Christmas morning and I could see the silhouette of it, and my heart dropped, and then the lights came on and it was a vacuum.
Ha! No, really?
Yeah. And then everybody finished opening their presents. I'm getting little chills. And I said, oh, one more, and they pulled out a guitar case, so that was nice.
And young, teenage Eddie Vedder would soon find out how he could channel his emotions through the power of music and the chords on his guitar. Eventually, he would even write his own songs, which he recorded on his trusty 4-track.
I heard when you talked to Dave Grohl the other day, and he was talking about recording with cassette players and going back and forth. I mean, it's the same thing that I did, and I think that comes from a desire to write a song yourself, or have it sound like a drum machine, or have it sound like a real piece of music, even though you're doing it by yourself. And I think that came from listening to early Pete Townsend demos that I would acquire, and hearing that one guy could kind of play everything.
Ed's love for The Who grew deeper and deeper, up to the point where he wished he was born 20 years earlier.
This is 1979, I'm reading about The Who, and I'm 14 or something, angry at my parents for
me not having been born a lot earlier. I wish I could have lived during Hendrix. I wish I could have lived, to be in these clubs to see The Who. I wish I could have been part of the mods, And then, years later, when I do remember having this realization after, the record was out and all of a sudden Seattle and this thing was happening and I felt this community and I thought, wow, I think, we're actually part of something.
As we all know, Ed went on to become a great musician in his own right, fueled and inspired by Pete Townshend's amazing songs, Roger Daltrey's delivery of them, Keith Moon's incredible drumming, and of course, John Entwistle's Thunder Fingers. And in 1993, his dream finally came true. After having experienced a whiplash-inducing leap into stardom with his band Pearl Jam within just 2 years, Eddie Vedder went to see a psychedelic show in San Francisco. And it was there where he met his role model, Pete Townshend, for the first time. After some small talk, Ed confessed, "I fucking hate this. I just hate it. I don't want to be famous. I don't want to be in a band. I'm feeling like I just want to run away. I grew up on the beach in La Jolla surfing, and that's really what I want to do for the rest of my life. I've heard that you've been through similar stuff, because 10 years before, Pete Townshend had left The Who. I'm afraid it's too late." What do you mean? This isn't politics, You don't put yourself up for election, get your seat, fuck up the country, and then retire. What you actually do is get railroaded. You just get grabbed and put on stage and told to keep doing what you're doing until you're allowed to stop. And you have absolutely no choice. You've been elected without standing, and you just might as well enjoy it, because it's not going to go away. And this conversation actually helped him a lot, because after the tumultuous period Pearl Jam went through in the following year, battling Ticketmaster and almost breaking up, Eddie and the guys persevered. And hell, if Eddie quit music then and there, he would maybe have never gotten the chance to play with his heroes on stage. There's another moment in Pearl Jam and Eddie Vedder's history where Pete Townshend came in clutch and saved the band from almost breaking up again. When a stampede happened at a Roskilde show that killed 9 people in Pearl Jam's crowd.
But who helped us out in that situation, I might have mentioned it in an interview before, but I'll say it again, was Pete and Roger, who had been through the same thing with The Who or something similar.
Right.
But there I was in a fetal position, basically. And Pete said, "You can handle this." And I said, "I can't." I was like, I don't know, Pete. I don't think I can. I'm losing it. I was doing maybe a little bit of woe is me, like, how did it happen to us? And Pete said, "Because you can handle it." And I said, "I don't think I can." And he said, "No, you can. That's probably why it happened to you, because you can handle it."
Right.
So he empowered me to, get my shit together, don't feel sorry, and don't react, respond.
Right.
I'm Still Here is a rare Pearl Jam song that has helped me personally through some really hard times. In the song itself, Ed talks about a low point in his life, when the person he loved broke up with him over the phone.
I swear I died inside that night. My friend, he called. I didn't mention a thing. The last thing he said was, "Be sound." Sound. I contemplated an awful thing, I hate to admit. I just thought those would be such appropriate last words. But I'm still here.
And that right there is why I love Pearl Jam and Eddie Vedder's songwriting. Perseverance in your darkest days. That's what their music has taught me. Ever since I first heard that song, I'm Still Here, I always imagined that it was Pete Townshend, that friend that called and told Eddie to be sound. It just seemed fitting. All in all, I'm grateful for what Pearl Jam and Ed have taught me about life. And I'm certain that Ed feels the exact same way about Pete Townshend and The Who.
Before I wrap it up and let you go, and again, thank you for your time. I'm going to preface this by saying that in the same way that I've read and heard you talk about like The Who and Pete Townsend and what they meant to you, that's what you and your band have meant to me. So you've always been like a compass or a lighthouse, and I've just always wanted to say thank you.
Well, Nicole, gave me some chills here on my arms.
I named my dog.
Only love can make you rain like the sweat of lovers laying in the